Hi. I just had to look up to make sure that I was actually recording this time. But I am. I'm on the road. I am in I camped last night in a little place. Oh, you can't see, it's just glary out there. Nice day though. Right by the ocean, just there at a campsite in a place called Gore Bay. Yeah, East Coast, New Zealand, sort of above Christchurch. And I'm on my way to Relish Festival. Never been there before, heard quite a bit about it. The first time was from a hitchhiker I picked up a year ago, and he had just come from Relish Festival and was raving about it, and he was from Europe somewhere and heading back to Europe. And yeah, so yeah, it was another spontaneous decision, like, yeah, I think I want to go, and found a ticket that was a guy was selling because someone couldn't make it, so nabbed that last week. And yeah, exciting. But what I was wanting to talk about, I saw on the road yesterday 2 big fat kereru, which is New Zealand's native wood pigeon, I think that's right. Big birds, yeah. And they were sitting, 2 very big plump birds, on this power line that I sort of passed as I was winding my way through the country roads to get to here. And it suddenly reminded me of something I had been thinking about while I was driving, and I was like, what was it? What was it? What was the kereru trying to tell me? And then I remembered it was about my cactus journey. So I'm just going to tell you briefly about my first ever, well, my only so far, cactus journey, which is, I think the other name for it is San Pedro. And I call it the granny's cactus. I shouldn't tell you much more about the cactus actually, because it's classed as a, okay, let's not go there. Okay, so yeah, before we headed off to Peru, Daniel thought it would be a great idea for me, having never done plant medicine, plant journeys, psychedelics, just the Vipassana meditation that I'd done, that had sort of set me off on this journey. And so he said, you know, it would be a good idea to do a journey, a plant medicine journey, just to sort of set aside, to sort of set us in the right direction of with going to do ayahuasca in Peru. And yeah, so one late afternoon on a Saturday. So it takes a long time to prepare the cactus. Like, you have to start the day before and you boil it down, and yeah, it's a massive process. Smells awful. The whole house smells with this smell that's very particular to it. And here, I'm waffling because it's first thing in the morning. Anyone who knows me, I'm not really a morning person. It takes me a while to sort of gradually build into the day. So, San Pedro, cactus, yes, cooking it, preparing it. And then Daniel had this wonderful, he was like, so you should really fast before you take it, like don't eat a couple of meals. So we stopped eating because he thought we would do it the day before. So we stopped eating even before that, and God, by then I was like, no, I am so hungry. So I'd actually had something to eat that morning, which was fine. It had no effect on it. So maybe I should just start this one again. No, keep on going, Tracy, keep on going. Push through. So we sort of set an intention, both of us, our own intentions, before we drank. And it was like 4 PM, and we drank a glass each of the cactus juice, and it's a very distinctive flavor. It tasted not so bad because it had, Daniel put honey and lemon juice in, so it had to me it was fine because I'd never done it before, but if you've done cactus before, the memory of the flavour comes back to you straight away, which it did for Daniel, which is And so because it's a purge, you purge with it, which is the same as with ayahuasca, you purge. So the ideal is to hold it within your stomach as long as you can. And and to me, with having not done it before, it was okay, and I felt okay, slightly queasy, and for about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, and then I was inside just sort of doing a few things, and I saw Daniel outside puking in the garden, and the minute I saw him puke, I'm like, oh, I feel like puking too. And so you did, I vomited like twice, but once you've done that, you've purged, and it's okay. Suddenly the nausea goes, you settle down, and you feel this slight tingling, this slight, oh, something's going on. And so we went down where we were living then. There was a gully just down the road, so we went for a walk and down into the gully, into the native bush, and sat down. And as we were walking to this spot, there were 2 big fat kereru who were flying like in front of us and around us, and they were chasing each other and playing, and they're big birds, like woof. And the noises they made when they swooped and dived, they were like woof, woof, woof. And it was crazy. And we sat down, and I was just thinking, wow, that's just like amazing. Like, there are these massive birds, and yet they navigate through these trees. You never see a bird going donk into a trunk of a tree. Well, I haven't. And they do all these crazy maneuverings. We sat down and we were sort of talking about it, observing these birds and how magical and incredible their flight was. And it would look like chaos, and yet it wasn't. It was beauty in the chaos. And then above us flew this aeroplane, and I remember thinking, what the fuck? What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Here are these beautiful creatures with feathers and wings that just move and allow them to just go through these spaces and dive and chase each other. And we have created this metal bird to go through the sky, and its wings don't even move. It has no agility. It's this massive static object pretending to be a bird. And what must the birds think? Like, is this as good as they can do? Is this as good as they can get? What are these creatures? What do they think? Look at us, guys, look at us. And it was in that moment of laughter and observation that I realized, aha, hello there, cactus, hello. That my perception had shifted. And so it Daniel's, because you're on the same page, the same wavelength, and you suddenly realize, aha, my perspective has changed. And it's quite a magical moment, and it was really beautiful. I found cactus myself, or the dose we had, for me it was a beautiful journey. It was a soft, gentle awareness and perception. And and I had heard that it's a masculine energy, a masculine plant, and for me it worked really well. Whereas ayahuasca is the grandmother, the feminine, the strong grandmother, the feminine. And the masculine energy of the cactus was, it was good for me. And then, so as our perception changed, suddenly you became alive to other things, and we were just sitting there looking at the trees and how they are made and how they grow, and just the realization that there's nothing really in nature that comes in squares. I know there's is it the hexagon shape, the bee combs, and which is some rock formations, that hexagon, pentagon, one of them, it's the bee things. So they have that shape in nature, which is a very precise geometry, and there's the sacred geometry, like the shells and the swirls. And but you notice everything is round, or they grow and move towards the light, the trees. There's no squares, there's no rigidity. It's flowing, it's moving, it's heading somewhere. And a lot of circles and weird shapes, leaves, magnificent shapes. And as we were walking back up, as dusk set in to the house, we came up from the trees in the gully to the houses, and suddenly we saw, and I'm like, what are we on about? Oh my God, what are we on about? Everything is just rigid and square. We have these streets which are just lined up in these rigid lines with roads going through. We have fences to say, this is my property here. You're not allowed through here. This is my property. You know, a square fence, a straight line. You do not see in nature the trees going, this is my property. They just all intermingle and go, okay, I'll give you a bit of space. I'll push you here. I'll move you here. Let's all head towards the light. Let's find what we want. I want a bit of shade. I want a bit of light. God, and we think, I mean, the houses are made out of these rigid structures, particularly concrete. Like what? Who decided that? And it's just these squares and the rigidity and the sterility of it, of this restriction of space. And we sit in these square homes and these square rooms and these and no wonder we feel caged in a way. We feel this restriction. Not this creativity, not this evolution, not this flowing, this movement we have created. We thinking that this is a good thing, to square ourselves off and limit ourselves and hedge ourselves in and build fences to restrict access. God, I got a bit excited. But the realization, this was the realization that I had on my cactus journey, that we are so out of touch with nature, and we are of nature. We are all made of the same stuff. That's why we feel good when we connect with nature. Our souls feel good. It comes alive. We feel creative. We have ideas. And we have shut ourselves off in these concrete, square roads and prisons and houses, and wonder why we've lost our life force. Yeah. We've just, I don't know, we've lost touch with the essence of life and of creativity. And yeah, that was a crazy revelation, and it was amazing. It was good. And then we built a fire in the backyard and sat around and talked, and I think Daniel played his guitar and sang, and just this beautiful ending where we just slowly moved from the space, and then our perspective slowly changed without us actually realizing, and then we're like, it's time to go to sleep, time to go to bed. And it was a beautiful journey for me. Yeah. Plant medicine is incredible if you know, especially if you do it with an intention and with good people around you, and particularly in nature, and then allow the plant to speak to you. Allow your soul to be open to what it has to say. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to post this one or not. We'll see. Anyway, wishing you, sending you good vibes, good plant vibes. Mwah. Ciao.